So when a band comes in, they walk in the door and they got their gear. Walk us through what the setup process is, because it takes a couple hours to kind of get things dialed in. So what is that dial-in process when they walk in the door with all their gear?
Well, I try to be really quick because I've done so many sessions where all you do is wait for hours. You know, just wait, and it's very detrimental to creativity and the mood, and it's just stupid. You know, so I did a record that, you know, with some money behind it, where the whole first day I didn't play anything. It was just drums, you know, listening to June go boop boop, and it goes, I'll get another snare drum. But what I like to do at my studio is, you know, I try and set up as much as possible in advance. I got a drum kit, I got a bass amp, I got enough, you know, to I got enough equipment to put about a dozen bands on the road, but I like to be as close to set up before the band shows up, so that, you know, you can, maybe the drummer can come in first, play a little bit. I'll go, okay, I got a sound, and then the rest of everybody comes in, and hopefully we'll be recording. You know, if people start showing up at noon, we'll be recording by 1 or 1:30. That's the idea. Now, you know, sometimes some people can, you know, decide that they want something that's more elusive. That'll take a while, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, particularly harmonica players. But that's you know, the thing about that happens in the studio a lot of times, and it's that people start tripping, you know, not literally, well, that too, but if, they start figuratively tripping, and you know, forgetting how to do stuff that's really they do every day, you know, like where to plug your guitar in your amp and stuff like that, and you know, that's why I try to, you know, most as close as possible to just get it to where it's like a live gig, you know. Inevitably, sometimes you want to do some stuff where the singer needs to be in an isolation booth, and you got to wear headphones to hear him, you know. I'm used to headphones. I don't mind them. But for a lot of people, that can be the worst experience of being in the studio, is having to deal with headphones. And at my studio, and at many studios, you know, you'll have a setup where everybody can have a little individual mixer. So if you want more bass, you don't have to ask me, the engineer, for it. You can just turn it up yourself, and you can make your own mix, which can be good or bad. But for you know, traditionally, I think that's been a problem for many bands, especially if everybody's got to share a headphone mix, and that's the only reference you have to playing is through the headphones. That can be pretty rough for people, and that's, you know, that's when you get in the I can usually deal with it because I kind of got to put on my engineer hat and not my guitar hat. If I'm a guitar player and I'm in a situation like that, you know, I tend to listen to the whole thing anyways. Mm-hmm. But usually most musicians, people, they just want to hear a little bit of everything and a lot of themselves. And that's without fail. So I usually walk around to everybody's headphone station before they even show up, and just give them a little bit of everything and a lot of themselves, and usually they're pretty happy. So that's you know, you know, you can have periods of, I've recorded a whole album in one day. you know, a whole album mixed in one day. I was pretty worn out by then, and I've, you know, I've done sessions where guys have made a demo and it's gone on for 3 years. So that's, you know, for the band to be, you know, be prepared, by which I mean, hey, you know, obviously know what songs you're gonna do, and know all the little, you know, kind of figure out the little details, like who's gonna solo first, how many rounds are you gonna solo, how are we gonna end it, you know, how do we know when to get back in after a solo, and roughly where will the, you know, dynamics go, because there's, you know, when you get into recording, there can be a lot of stuff that can make it, you know, not as easy to communicate all those things as it is on a stage. Plus, you know, when you're on stage, you can always yell stuff, and, you know, it's fine. It's a lot more forgiving, you know. Of course, I can always just take the yell out when I edit it in Pro Tools, but to get you know, get, especially, you know, how many solos, who's doing the solos, what's the order, and the main thing is, you know, listen to each other. You know, when you rehearse before a studio session, you know, if you got a guitar player and a keyboard player, try and, you know, listen to each other. Make sure the parts are working together, you know, and that you're not playing on top of each other, but with each other. And, you know, having said that, you know, some of my favorite records are just complete, you know, spontaneous jam in the studio. You know, like a Junior Wells Southside Chicago Blues Jam. So it says right on the cover, Blues Jam. And you know, it's loose, but you know, those guys are like, you know, they're divine beings. You know, they're not
Not mere mortals.
they're not mere mortals. So it's okay. You know, they can turn the beat around. It's cool. You know?
Yeah, yeah.